UFC 241 took place on Saturday, August 17th at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. In tonight's co-main event, the UFC welcomes back one of the biggest fan favorites in Nate Diaz. Diaz is one of the toughest and most entertaining fighters on the planet, and he's facing off against another UFC superstar in Anthony "Showtime" Pettis. This fight is long overdue, and we've all been waiting for this matchup for years. Diaz has been out of the game for a few years now, and in his last fight was in 2016, where he lost a 5-round majority decision to Conor McGregor. Diaz brings a heavy pressure attack, throwing stinging punches in bulk, high-level ground game, great cardio, and as tough as they come. But standing across from him, Showtime Pettis is one of the most exciting fighters with his flashy, unpredictable styles and his unique fighting approach, and coming off a huge win against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. There is definitely some bad blood here, but that's usually the case when Nate is competing. And here's how it went down. Diaz came out early, moving forward with his signature pressure, but Pettis was looking for leg kicks early. Nate did a great job throughout the fight, using his distance and range well, keeping Pettis against the cage and less offensive. Diaz continued to close the gap, pressing Pettis against the cage, making the fight ugly and taking away Pettis' range and his clean fighting style, not allowing him to land his flashy signature strikes. Diaz did come out with a surprising takedown early in the first, but Pettis, with an underrated ground game, locked up a tight guillotine, but Diaz, with his high-level jits game, escaped and continued to attack and looked to take Pettis' back, which Diaz had several times throughout the night. Pettis' Achilles heel has been wrestlers, and he has struggled with pressure fighters, and tonight Diaz did just that. At the end of the second round, Diaz started to find his range with his strikes, and Pettis was really starting to feel the heat from the 209, and Diaz was not letting Pettis relax with his relentless attack and continued to grind down Pettis. Diaz tonight showed an excellent fight IQ, making Pettis fight his fight with his in-your-face pressure and dirty signature fighting style that gives so many opponents problems that led him to the unanimous victory. Guys, here's my final thoughts. What can you say about Nate Diaz? He is an unpredictable fighter that you love to watch, and a guy that brings the fight and doesn't make excuses. Tonight he used his signature in-your-face style, but fought a very intelligent fight, using his range well, keeping his distance, and pressuring Pettis against the cage with his relentless style that eventually broke Pettis, and an excellent game plan by Diaz, who secured the unanimous victory. Here's some quick stats on Nate Diaz. Tonight he landed 114 significant strikes. Diaz outlanded Pettis 205 to 86 in total strikes. Diaz is the former UFC lightweight title challenger. He is the winner of the Ultimate Fighter Season 5. He has the second most post-fight bonuses in UFC history. He has the 4th most submissions in UFC history. He has a high-level black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, and he now holds wins over Conor McGregor, Michael Johnson, Donald Cerrone, and Anthony Pettis, to name a few. Okay guys, what's next for Diaz? Well, sky's the limit for the fan favorite. There are some fun matchups for him at welterweight with Leon Edwards, Jorge Masvidal, McGregor, and more. But in the post-fight octagon speech, Nate called out Jorge Masvidal for his next fight.
Now we're fighting for the baddest motherfucker in the game, belt, and that's mine. So I'd like to defend it against Jorge Masvidal. So if you want to be the baddest motherfucker, that's how we're gonna do it.
Diaz was asked in the post-fight interview if he'd fight Conor McGregor in December, and he said,
that's something that works into the schedule. I'm gonna fight the baddest dude, the biggest, baddest shows that people want to see. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to do. So it's up to the everybody who's involved in that. If they want it, they're gonna call me and tell me they want it.
But to me, the fight to make would be Jorge Masvidal, who is sitting cage side. And Diaz told Rogan in the octagon after the fight, and I quote, "It's Nick Diaz's armies, mother effer," Diaz said to the cheers of the crowd, with some other choice words. Guys, what can you say about Nate Diaz? He's one of the most entertaining fighters in the sport and a true competitor that you'll love to watch. I'm glad he's back, and we'll definitely see some exciting matchups from him in the near future. There are several winners here tonight, but the big ones are the fans and the UFC, of course, along with Nate. Nate being one of the most popular fighters on the planet, we know the UFC won't have to work very hard marketing him in his next fights, whether it's Jorge Masvidal or Conor McGregor, but either way, I can't wait. My fellow fight fans, don't forget to hit that like button. This is Jake Hatton with MMA Weekly's The Lowdown Breakdown.